The State Space Agency of Ukraine is the Ukrainian government agency responsible for space policy and programs, along with the Ukrainian Defense Industry and the Antonov Aeronautical Scientific Technical Complex. It is a major state complex of the national defense industry of Ukraine. The State Space Agency of Ukraine does not specialize in manned astronautical programs. It is the second of two direct Soviet space program descendants. The agency does not have its own spaceport and is often dependent on the resources of the Russian Federal Space Agency. Until December 9, 2010, the agency was known as the National Space Agency of Ukraine. Until 2014, launches were conducted at Kazakhstan's Baikonur and Russia's Plesetsk cosmodromes. Since the Crimean crisis, launches are conducted on Sea Launch's floating platform. NSAU has ground control and tracking facilities in Kiev, with the other facilities in Yevpatoria, Crimea, and the control measuring complexes in Yevpatoria were abandoned, while they are operating the control center in Donetsk. Ukrainian spacecraft include a few kinds for domestic and foreign use and international cooperation. Ukraine has supplied Russia with military satellites and the launch vehicles, a unique relationship in the world. Main tasks: development of state policy concepts in the sphere of research and peaceful uses of space, as well as in the interests of national security; organization and development of space activities in Ukraine and under its jurisdiction abroad, contributing to state national security and defense capability; organization and development of Ukraine's cooperation with other states and international space organizations. NSAU is a civil body in charge of coordinating the efforts of government installations, research, and industrial companies. Several space-related institutes and industries are directly subordinated to NSAU. However, it is not a united and centralized system immediately participating in all stages and details of space programs. A special space force in the military of Ukraine is also absent. The agency oversees launch vehicle and satellite programs, cooperative programs with the Russian Aviation and Space Agency, the European Space Agency, NASA, and commercial ventures. International participation includes Sea Launch and the Galileo positioning system, space program. Space activities in Ukraine have been pursued over a 10-year span in strict accordance with national space programs. Each of them was intended to address the relevant current issues to preserve and further develop the space potential of Ukraine. The first program was called upon to keep up the research and industrial space-related potentiality for the benefit of the national economy and state security, as well as to be able to break into the international market of space services. The second program was aimed at creating an internal market of space services, conquering the international space markets by presenting in-house products and services and integrating Ukraine into the worldwide space community. The National Space Program of Ukraine for 2003 to 2007, which was adopted by the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine on October 24, 2002, outlines the main goals, assignments, priorities, and methods of maintaining space activity in Ukraine. The Ukrainian Cabinet of Ministers announced its plans on the 13th of April 2007 to allocate €312 million to the National Space Program for 2007 to 2011. Specific programs: scientific space research, remote sensing of the Earth, satellite telecommunication systems, development of ground-based infrastructure for navigation and special information system, space activities in the interests of national security and defense, space complexes, development of base elements and advanced space technologies, development of research, test and production base of the space sector, goals of the program to develop a national system for Earth observation from outer space to meet the national demands in the social-economic sphere, and for security and defense purposes, to introduce satellite systems and communication facilities into the telecommunication infrastructure of the state, to obtain new fundamental knowledge on near-Earth outer space, the solar system, deep space, biological and physical processes and the microgravity condition, to create and develop techniques for space access with a view toward realizing national and international projects and to enable the homemade rocket to be employed on the worldwide market of space transportation services, to elaborate the advanced space facilities, to ensure the innovative development of the space sector in terms of improving its research, experimental and production basis. History. The agency is a minor descendant of the Soviet space program that was passed mostly to the Russian Federal Space Agency. The agency took over all the former Soviet defense industrial complex that was located on the territory of Ukraine. The space industry of Ukraine started in 1937 when a group of scientists led by Georgy Proskura launched a large stratospheric rocket near Kharkiv. In 1954, the Soviet government transformed the car producer Yuzhmash into a rocket company. Since that time, the city of Dnipropetrovsk has been known in the Anglophone world as the Soviet Rocket City. Ukraine officially became the 10th space power on August 31, 1995 with the launch of SIC-1 using a TSYKLON-3. As of April 2009, the Ukrainian National Space Agency is planning to launch a Ukrainian communications satellite by September 2011 and a SIC-2 before the end of 2011. National enterprises of the space industry. Most of the enterprises are located in Dnipropetrovsk, Kiev, Dnipropetrovsk State Enterprise, Makarov Yuzhny Machine Building Plant, State Enterprise Yuzhnoye State Design Office, State Enterprise Dniprokosmos, State Enterprise Dniprovsky Project Institute, Makarov National Center of Aero-Cosmic Education for the Youth, State Enterprise Center of Rocket Space Technology Standardization, State Enterprise Nikopol Pipe Plant, State Enterprise Pavlorad Chemical Plant, Kiev State Enterprise Arsenal Factory, State Enterprise Ukrikosmos, State Enterprise Kiev Prelad, State Enterprise Scientific Center of a Precise Machine Building, State Joint Stock Holding Company, Kiev Radio Plant, Open Joint Stock Association, Kiev Radio Plant, Open Joint Stock Association, RSB Radio Plant, Open Joint Stock Association, SPC KERS, State Scientific Production Center, Priroda, State Scientific Production Enterprise, Ukrainsky Innovates Scieny Promyslovy Technology, Kharkiv Science Research Technological Institute of Instrument Building, Public Stock Association, Kartin, Corporation Kommuna, Crimea National Space Facilities Control and Testing Center, Ukrainian launch vehicles. During 1991 to 2007, a total of 97 launches of Ukrainian LV were conducted, including, but not limited to, launches on the Sea Launch Mobile Launch Pad. In 2006, Ukrainian launch vehicles accounted for 12% of all launches into space in the world. Ukrainian companies Yangel Yuzhnoye State Design Office and Makarov Yuzhny Machine Building Plant have engineered and produced 7 types of launch vehicles. Adding strap-on boosters to launch vehicles may expand the family of Malyuk, which is the latest launch vehicle developed. Cyclone, TSYKLON-2, TSYKLON-3. Zenit-2, Zenit-3SL, DNEPR, Malyuk. Ukrainian Satellites. Ukraine produced the Sikhonoki Earth observation satellites, as well as a few other types of satellites, and the Coronis Solar Observatory in cooperation with Russia. NSAU has engineered, constructed and launched a total of 6 satellites. The latest Ukrainian satellite, SIK-1M, was launched in 2004 and was a successful mission. The launch of SIK-2 was scheduled in 2007 with the goal of scientific research and space exploration. It was launched in August 2011. NSAU currently is working on further SIK-series satellites, SIK-3, SIK-3O and SIK-3P, and a satellite to fly around the Moon in 2017. Human flights. Prior to Ukraine's independence, several Ukrainians flew in space under the Soviet flag. The first Ukrainian to fly in space under the Ukrainian flag was Leonid Kadeniuk on 13 May 1997. He was a payload specialist on NASA's STS-87 Space Shuttle mission. It was an international spaceflight mission involving crew members from NASA, NSAU and NASDA. Sea Launch Project. See more detailed article at Sea Launch. Sea Launch is joint venture space transportation company, partially owned by companies in Ukraine which handle operations for the National Space Agency. Sea Launch offers a mobile sea platform used for spacecraft launches of commercial payloads on specialized Ukrainian Zenit-3SL rockets. The main advantage of the floating cosmodrome is its placement directly on the equator. It allows taking the greatest advantage of Earth's rotation to deliver payloads into orbit at low expense. Within the framework of the project, the Space Rocket Complex was developed, which consists of 4 components: Marine Segment, Rocket Segment, Spacecraft Segment and Facilities. SVTIAS Project. The SVTIAS Orlan-Sura Aerospace Rocket Complexes is intended for launching of various spacecraft into circular, elliptic and high-altitude circular, including the geostationary orbits. SVTIAS ASC represents a unique system that allows launch of spacecraft without utilization of complicated ground infrastructure. The SVTIAS is launched directly from a modified version of an 225 MRIYA, a Ukrainian airplane, an airplane carrier that is currently the largest one in the world. Modified MRIYA that will be used to carry SVTIAS has been designated a code of an 225-100. The aircraft is equipped with special devices to secure the LV above the fuselage. The operators and onboard equipment are located in the pressure-tight cabins. The SVTIAS LV is being created on the basis of units, aggregates and systems of Zenit LV. It consists of 3 stages of non-toxic propellants: liquid oxygen and kerosene. The launch vehicle is injected into the geostationary orbit using a solid propellant apogee stage. Director General Volodymyr Horbilin, Andriy Alko-Titarenko, Oleksandr Neoda, Yuri Alexeyev, Oleksandr Zinchenko, Yuri Alexeyev, Oleksandr Holub, Ole Yursky, Lyubomir Sabadosh.